Hello, everybody, and hello especially to Merv. Thank you so much for joining us today as our elected elder, and I think we could even be up to number 6 we're up to number 7. You're number 7. Oh, that's got to be lucky somehow. Anyway, it's great to have you here, and thank you so much for bringing your community along. Before we get started, I'd love to just ask everybody to take a moment to have a breathe and feel themselves seated wherever they are, and just settle into your seat, being here for the next hour, listening to all that we're going to be listening to. Before we get started, we're going to acknowledge country. So if you prefer to think into this deeply, then I invite you to close your eyes or not, whichever one's comfortable. So I'd love to acknowledge country, my country, where I am in Yuin country, where I was conceived and brought up, and all of the countries that you're coming to this meeting from around this amazing nation, this amazing island nation. And I want us to all be here together in gratitude, because that's what we're practicing this month at SoulAdvisor. Gratitude for the skies above and the water that flows below us, and the deep, rich earth, and the dry earth, and the dirt, and the rocks, and all those insects and birds and creatures. In fact, gratitude for the whole of the natural world that surrounds us, and to hope that we can follow in the footsteps of all those that have walked here before and knowing that they've paid true respect to country in their every action, and hope that we might be guided to do the same. And that by focusing here, thank you very much everyone for coming on this Eldership Series and practicing the art of paying respect to those that have experienced the world before us, that we might also start to really flex that muscle and pay respect to the elders and the communities that have kept this land so beautifully. Thank you for joining SoulAdvisor today, everyone, and thank you for joining us, Merv. And before we get started, I'd also like to thank Pauline, who's here, who joined us previously on one of the sessions. Yeah, it was very lovely to have you and interview you and be in deep chat with you. And now over to Merv. So, Merv, welcome.
Kate, thank you so much. And I am away from my normal country. I'm actually traveling at the moment. I'm at one of our major universities at the moment, about to present to one of their leadership teams on my topic, my passion, which is laughter. So I have no idea what that picture is. I've already been asked, oh, what's that picture of yours? It's not mine. I have no idea what it is, but it makes me look so much more important than it is. And I've got this light show right on my head. All right. So it takes me back to a story when I was up in Sydney. I was presenting what I present at the Work Health and Safety Show, and Channel 7 got hold of it. And they said, can you come into our studios and do an interview? I said, of course I can. This would be cool. So I went in there, and when I was waiting in the green room, they said, oh, we've got to take you to makeup. I'll go, oh, this is the full bit. This is fantastic. So I went into the makeup room, and here was the lights around the mirror and all of the makeup stuff. And this lovely lady came across and she goes, now let's make you up. And she got her powder and just powdered a little spot on top of my head and then walked away. And I'm going, what, is that it? She said, I'm a makeup artist, not a miracle worker. I'm going, oh, I love you. You have a sense of humor. You have a sense of humor. I love the fact that you have a sense of humor and you wanted to have fun with me. So yeah, sorry about the little light. It is nothing more than a reflection of my bald head, and I didn't have my foundation on me. Now, what you may not know, if you've been at the other sessions, as I've had the privilege of doing, is Kate is very organized, and she sent out a list of questions. And just saying, look, we're essentially going to talk about these things, this, but don't prepare anything. Well, I'm sorry, you can't talk to someone like myself who's process-driven and structured and say, don't prepare anything. I've been preparing for the last 3 weeks, Kate. I've got my notes here about what I want. And it just, it just helps me keep clear about the message and keep on song about what it is I'm going to talk about. And the first question that Kate posed to us is, what's your vision for Laughter Yoga Australia? So here is our emblem here that represents our brand. And she said, what's your vision for Laughter Yoga Australia? And I thought, I'm going to have to go back to the age of 12. So keep with me here, people. I'm not off track yet. So I had to go back to the age of 12. And that's when I had my first business opportunity. Something happened in my life. And I went to my dad and I said, Dad, he was a very successful business person at the time. And I said, Dad, what's going on? He said, Merv, you have your first business opportunity at the age of 12. I'm going, well, that's cool. I said, what do I have to do exactly? He said, write a plan and stick to it. Write a plan and stick to it. I'm going, it's got to be more difficult than that. And no, it didn't have to be. And so I learned the simplicity of business at the age of 12. So I wrote myself a plan, and it happened to be a diagram because my business that I had was very pictorial. And I wrote down a diagram of what my business looked like. Now, a lot of people do this through vision boards. I'm sure you've all heard of or seen of vision boards. I couldn't recommend them more highly, to just sit there and just pictorialize what the vision is for whatever it is you want to do and your organization wants to do. So I did this diagram, and I'm going, that's great for today, but what do I want my business to look like? Which is what a vision is. It's taking yourself into the future, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 25 years, and saying, wow, I wonder what the picture is there. So it was a really powerful exercise for me to sit down, pictorialize what is, but then pictorialize what I want to do. And there's something about writing. I have art therapy friends as well too. There's something about putting a pen to paper that actually makes it so much more significant. So that's what I did. And the business started to go really well, so much so that someone got hold of the local newspaper and they came down and interviewed me. And they said, what are you doing? How did you do it? All this sort of stuff. And then the next week on the front page of the local paper was a column devoted to me and my business. And they said, here's a young man, should go far, 12 years old, running this business, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, could end up a business tycoon. I'm going, okay, that's foreign to me as well. So I went back to Dad, said, Dad, what's a business tycoon? He said, millionaire. Oh, okay, cool. Well, the paper suggests that I'm going to be a millionaire, a business tycoon. He said, well, you better get back to work. I said, okay, I will. So getting back to the plan, and Pauline talked so wonderfully about discipline, you know, the discipline with her yoga practice, and there's a discipline in running a business as well too. So I got back to work, but all of a sudden I had another vision. Because they said that life begins at 40. And that was true until I got to 40, and then life begins at 50 until I got to 50. Then life begins at 60. I think you can see the theme of where I'm going here. So I determined that at the age of 40, I would be a millionaire. That was my picture. So I had a picture of my business and a picture of this. And away I went. It then turned into a mathematical equation. Well, you know, if I need this much money in the bank by this time, I've got this amount of weeks, so I have to make this. So business to me turned into a mathematical equation. And it was rather simple. I had to earn and save this much per week for the next 28 years. And away I went. I'll fast forward to that time, my 40th birthday. I had a party, which was nice. And I got gifted two things. I got gifted the column that said, this is what was going to happen 28 years ago, and a bank statement that said, you've made it. I'm going, cool, good on me. So that's the power of a vision, to keep you on track and keep you motivated and keep you driven towards an end goal. The unfortunate thing was I was only 40, so I set another vision that I would double that in the next 5 years. So whatever it took me 28 years to do, it would now take me 5 years to do. And I worked hard to get there, so hard that when I achieved that second vision at the age of 45, I collapsed, was rushed to hospital, and subsequently given a very, very severe diagnosis. I'll come back to that in a short period of time. So what happened back in 2002 when I got sick after selling that last business that served me so well? I went to my business mentor. And is an elder a mentor? Possibly. Are they a coach? Are they a role model? Are they an old wise owl. We've talked about all of these things. And the wonderful thing with the 7 or 6 series to date has just got me querying even more, what is the role of an elder in society? And I'm getting clearer as we go along, but it's been a fascinating series. So well done to Kate and the SoulAdvisor team. So I went to my mentor once I got better, and I'll come back to that in a second, and said, what should I do? He said, you're really good at this visioning stuff and planning and business. Why don't you go and help other people with that? I'm going, that sounds good. I said, first of all, is it easy? Because I don't want anything hard, because I got sick from working too hard. And he said, well, it's relatively easy for someone with your experience. And I said, great. So for the past 18, 19 years, I've actually been assisting people with their vision and with their plan, and then assisted and supported them on their way. So as soon as Kate said, what's your vision for Laughter Yoga Australia? I'm going, oh, I haven't actually written it down, but now I have. So thank you, Kate, for that discipline. So I want to share with you the vision for Laughter Yoga Australia. And
this is a bit exciting. Sorry, this is really exciting. So it's the first time you've written it down and now you're going to share it with us?
Well, yeah, it's always been in my head, but I'm going, no, write it down. Does it make sense? And the other thing, you know, I should be practicing what I preach, Kate. You know, if I'm telling people this is the process. Now, I've always done it with my own businesses, and my business is now promoting Laughter Yoga Australia and heading up Laughter Yoga Australia, but my own personal business as well, too. It's also my own personal well-being. Everything, once you write it down, it either makes sense or it doesn't. And the ability to write it down seems to make sense to me. So yes, I am going to share it with you now. And fortunately, some of my associates, such as Sharon and Lisa and Beth, have come on board to hear, which is nice. The vision for Laughter Yoga Australia in the next 3 to 5 years is to be recognised as a legitimate exercise modality by providing a variety of laughter offerings to assist with an illness or promote wellness to all Australians. Now, I followed the process that I use and assist and support my clients with. What are you going to be doing to who, where, and why? What are you going to be doing to who, where, and why? So, Kate, I believe there's been a premises built in Cambodia. Is that right?
Absolutely. Beautiful place.
And I believe you have a vision of turning up there one day soon.
Such a big vision. Yep.
Yeah. So we seem to be really good at this visioning process when it comes to a holiday or a personal experience, but not so much when it comes to different ways of doing. So this is just something that I've used to help support people in creating it and writing it down. And then I just asked them to close their eyes, as Kate did. And I said, can you see yourself there? You know, you've woken up in 3 to 5 years' time. What are you doing to who, where, and why? And visions are so powerful that it then becomes reality. So I am actually in one of our major universities at the moment, and I'm looking around me, and I'll be looking at the audience in about an hour and a half's time, and I'm going, there they are. They were the people that 18 years ago I would only ever have imagined being in front of. But it's been my discipline, determination, my planning, and the focus for my personal vision with laughter that's actually got me there. So I want to go back and address this vision in bits and pieces to be recognized as a legitimate exercise modality. Now, laughter is the best medicine, and we tout that regularly. But when I've been talking to health professionals, it's really important that we get our words right. If I'm talking to businesses, it's really important that I talk to business people in a business fashion. If I'm talking to yogis, it's really important that I associate with them with their language. And with health professionals, I'd say laughter's medicine. And they go, well, no, it's not in our terms, but it is an exercise modality. It is an exercise program that actually creates health and healing. I'm going, great. So whenever I'm talking to these health professionals, it's not about medicine, it's about an exercise modality. And that resonates with them really, really well. Legitimate. We need to be seen to be in their space and legitimized. Now, we're a little way off it at the moment. I've presented to the Meditation Australia conference for the last 2 years, and one of their key visions is to be legitimized as health professionals. I'm sure I heard that somewhere along the line. So it's about being seen by our existing health professionals as a legitimate form of health and wellness. So that's what's behind that. By providing a variety of laughter offerings. So we've got laughter yoga, and laughter yoga can be done in certain ways. Other people have got laughter wellbeing. The Laughy that's just been created by a health psychologist in Monaco as well, too. We might finish with a Laughy, provided we've got time, because I'd like you to experience the latest thing that's out there. And often businesses will say, yeah, come in, we'll have a bit of a laugh, but that's all there is to it. No, there's so much more to it. There's so much more to it. We need to be running programs and workshops and one-to-ones with people at various levels to assist with an illness or promote wellness. So when we're assisting someone with an illness, and the major focus, if you go to the front page of our website, the Laughter Yoga Australia website, we are focusing on your laugh line for 2002 in promoting mental wealth. And this mental wealth is not just good mental health, but good connections as well, to the support of others in maintaining good mental health. So often we just focus on the illness and not the health and well-being. So that's been our line there pre-COVID on the front of our website. So we can assist someone with an illness. If you are failing and not doing too well at the moment at a mental or physical or spiritual level or something like that, we can actually help and pick you up. The other thing, when I'm working in the health industry, as an example, and we're talking about laughter as therapy, there is no formal certification to be a laughter therapist. There's no formal certification. So that comes back to that legitimizing. We have to get something that actually says you are formally a therapist in this area. And sometimes, Kate, we're dealing with someone with an illness, and we can't help them with the illness, but we can help them with the mindset relative to the illness. And the laughter just seems to be able to shift that mindset in a very, very quick way. Is this the placebo effect? Yes, it is. Is it mind over matter? Yes, it is. It's all of these things to help the person heal faster and better, or deal with their illness in a much better way. And I've worked with some people who have passed in hospices, and the end was inevitable, but did they die happy? It was what it was all about. And
I just love that you've included that part in your vision, because it's not about creating this unrealistic, healthy, happy world, because we do get sick and we do die. And tomorrow when we talk to Helen, which I hope you'll be there too, we get sick and we die. And that needs to be part of the wellness journey. And so I love what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. And when I worked with the last gentleman in a hospice, a very young man, it was a very sad situation, as you could imagine. He said, Merv, can you help me die happy? I said, I can. We will laugh until the end. I said, on one condition. He said, what's that? I said, that you die before me. And he laughed, and I'm going, that's it. So be able to maintain a sense of humor and die happy is really, really important for me when I'm working with people with an illness. But then there's this other crowd out there that I want to get in touch with, and that's people who are focusing on wellness. And of course, those who focus on wellness are less likely to get sick, or if they do, they're going to go into sickness and then out of sickness really, really quickly. So I think it's very important, or it is for us anyway. I'm purely speaking on behalf of Laughter Yoga Australia here, and my opinion, therefore it's true, because other people will have their opinions. And we talked about the truth the other day, didn't we, Pauline? And this was mentioned, your opinion is your truth. The very first gentleman, I still can't pronounce his name. Kate, help me with his name.
Jarapan Jimpa.
Jarapan Jimpa. I need to practice that over and over. I'm not good with names. Jarapan Jimpa talked about truth telling, and it was all the truths. It was all of our stories coming together to tell our opinions, and that was the truth telling process. So it's about helping people with their illness, but promoting wellness. And I think it's really good to get clear when you're working with a person, where are we working? Where are you at the moment? And become so much closer to them. And then to all Australians, with the social media and the internet, we can take over the world. And I thought, what if we actually take over Australia first, and then we ourselves to the world? So we have a specific culture here in Australia, which is really, really quite unique. I've had the good fortune to travel extensively, and our culture here is so unique that maybe if we could just bring that point of uniqueness to Australians and then promote it to other people to actually spread the message for us.
Merv, again, what a beautiful synchronized swim we're going to have over the next few years with laughter, yoga, and SoulAdvisor, because where we're working is to try and recreate wellness, because it's only a concept, of course. You know, wellness can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but we are asking the question of why do we stop at the point where we determine, oh, you're healthy enough to live, so what? You know, what's the point of just doing that? The wellness has to be aspirational, and you know, we need to move beyond just that low grade happiness into something that's joy. So laughter is a part of that. It's an aspirational state where, you know, everybody wants to belly laugh. Everybody feels that they've had, if something has been really significantly great in their life, it tends to involve a belly laugh. So, you know, I think that this is so important to try and work out, well, what fears, anxieties, illnesses, contractions exist that prevent us from moving into belly laughter. Yeah, and that's your job.
Oh, well, that's my job, yes. Everything that you said there was going through my mind because I presented to a senior group of business people this morning. There's no need to know who they are or who they were. And we talked about this very point. And one very, very senior person said, I'm not happy.
No.
I'm going, oh, you poor fellow. He said, I'm not happy. And I didn't realize how unhappy I was until your presentation. I'm going, hang on, let me dissect this. So it wasn't my presentation that made him unhappy. It was his realization that, hang on, I'm out there laughing and being joyful and he's not. And he's going, I get some of what you've got. I said, well, come and join me with some laughter. So we did that. There was another person there who was about to go to hospital to have some sort of surgery this Thursday. And they opened up and they said, I'm so traumatized. I don't know. So there's all these fears that people have in their lives and experiences that they have. Yet when we laugh, we're just in the moment and everything seems to be good.
Did you invite them to come along and help you do the paving in front of your house?
Do the what?
The paving. You're laughy the other day when you were putting down all those paving stones around the house and you were in agony and you were laughing and then saying, oh my back, and then laughing again.
So it's you that's been stalking me. I wondered who was stalking me on social media. Yes, every day I post a laughy. I'll talk more about that at the end. And the laughy is relevant to how am I feeling at the moment. And yes, I was moving 2.5 tons of paving stones and the back was really, really sore. I thought, time for a laugh. And it just put me into a present state. The endorphins kicked in, reduced the pain, and I felt good about myself and continued doing what I was doing. So laughter forms as a great distraction, but then it has a heap of medical benefits as well too. And this is all the chemicals that get released into our body when we laugh over a period of time. So that's just a little bit about the vision and where it come from. At a personal level, going back to 2002, when I got sick, I started to laugh. And the doctors were saying, why are you laughing? There's nothing funny about this. We've given you a really serious diagnosis. And, you know, you're laughing. Why are you laughing? And I said, I really don't know why. If we fast forward to 2019, I was invited onto a show on SBS. It's now on SBS On Demand called Medicine or Myth. I'm not sure if any of you caught up with it. It was a good show, mainly because I was on it. But it was a good show because there was a whole lot of weird people like me who had experienced an illness or working with people who had experienced an illness who had used different ways of helping them heal, and mine was laughter. And one of the people on that show was a Dr. Charlie Teo. He is one of our notable neurosurgeons. And he was one of the panel members, and he decided to diagnose me 17 years after my illness, because that's just the sort of person that he is. And it went out on national TV, Medicine or Meth, SBS On Demand. I open up on episode 6 if you'd like to go and see it. And he suggested that I was so sick that I was actually hemorrhaging into my brain and having mini strokes. And he's found that when people experience strokes and start to hemorrhage into their hypothalamus, they will start to uncontrollably laugh. And it's a thing called pathological laughter, and it's real. I subsequently then found out that when brain surgeons are working on the brains, especially for epilepsy, they will put certain electrodes on different parts of the brain. And when they electrify one part of the brain, people will start to laugh uncontrollably. So the point of that short story is I didn't go looking for laughter, it found me. But as soon as I started to laugh, I started to feel better. Something shifted in my mind and my body and my whole being, and I started to feel good. So I went back to the doctors and said, I can't stop laughing. What's going on? And they said, we have no idea. Maybe you've lost your mind. Maybe you've gone crazy. And I'm going, maybe I have. I really don't know. So I thank Dr. Charlie Teo for that diagnosis, because all of a sudden that made sense as to why I was laughing. But then I thought, hang on, what if I could actually assist people to laugh in the face of illness and dire situations? So that essentially became my vision, to be that support person where I can bring laughter where there is no laughter, where laughter can actually help to heal. So 8 months later, if you want to go onto YouTube, don't go there now, go there later. The Laughing Man is 11.5-minute documentary of that time in my life and what happened. I came out the other side and I just wanted to bring more laughter to people. That's all I wanted to do. It was a very, very simple vision. But back in 2002, and this is one of the questions that you sent, which I've made a note about. Kate, I'm working through my questions here.
Thank you.
How has it changed in the 20 years that I've been involved? Oh my goodness, it's changed so much, so much. It was one of these weird, wacky, out there, crazy things that crazy people do. And I'm going, wow, is this what it's all about? You know, it was really, really weird. And the people that I started to hang out with in laughter yoga were really, really weird. And it took me 2 or 3 years until I realized that I was weird as well. And oh my goodness, it was like a weight was lifted off my shoulder. It's really good to be weird, isn't it, folks? So you're all nodding. It's really great to be weird, because you have no external expectations. You just have yourself. And as long as you're doing the best you possibly can, everything's okay. So 8 months later, totally cured and have devoted my life to laughter. Found this thing called laughter yoga. Went to India at the request of Dr. Kataria. He was a GP that created this concept of laughter yoga. And he said, you really must come to India. It's the spiritual supermarket of the world. He said, you can have whatever you want. You can have a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this. You'll find everything there. And that was just such a wonderful experience to immerse myself in this very spiritual culture and learn firsthand from this doctor that created or recreated laughter yoga in its present format about the spirituality of laughter. And he was talking to someone who had I couldn't even spell the word spiritual. And he had to take me down this pathway of spirituality and the spirituality of laughter. And one of those things that he did was invited me to the International Laughter Conference in 2005. So I went over there, I met him, I went to the conference and was surrounded by all of these people just laughing and just being so joyful, And one of the things they had was a competition, a laughter competition. And the doctor said, Merv, you must go into it. The Indians can't say Merv. They say Merv. I don't know why, they just say Merv. And he said, Merv, you must go into this laughing competition. I said, no. I said, I'm really uncomfortable. I don't want to do it. And I was pushed into it and went through the different stages and phases and kept being promoted to the next level, There was 1,000 people in this laughing competition and very uncomfortable with the whole thing. And I thought they'd just being nice by promoting me, because the Indian people are just so respectful. And I thought, they're just being nice to me. Finally got to the end competition. I think there was 10 of us on stage. And the competition then was, right, laugh for a minute all by yourself in front of everybody. I'm going, nah, No, sorry, no, I have a line and it's here. No, I'm out of here, Doc. And once again, push back onto stage. He said, Marv, you've got to do it. He said, you need to experience this moment. And I said, all right, I'll do it reluctantly. I said, have you got any hints? He said, laugh from your heart. I said, yep, that didn't help at all. I'm sorry. That didn't help at all. Laugh from your heart. What are you talking about? He said, just do it. The next minute that I had to laugh, and we had someone talking about the heart, Kate, in this amazing, I encourage you to go and listen to the conversation that we had about the heart. And all of a sudden the spotlight was on me and they said, go. I have no recollection of that next minute. It was an out-of-body experience. And I have no idea what happened. And all of a sudden something happened. I have no idea what happened. At the end of the minute, they all said, you win. You're the best laughing man in the world competition. There was media, there was TV, there was radio, there was photos, there was trophies, there was all this sort of stuff. And I said to the doc, I said, Doc, what just happened? He said, welcome. Oh, okay. I'm in. He goes, yep, welcome. You're there. So it was at that stage I'm going, laughter's more than just a noise. It's more than just a noise. It's a whole of body experience. It's very spiritual. The word spirit means breath. It's a breath exercise. I'm reading a 540 page book at the moment by Patrick McKeon called The Breathing Cure. A fairly out there statement for a book, The Breathing Cure by Patrick McKeon, and 540 pages on breathing exercises. Laughter's a breathing exercise. And Lee Burke from Loma Linda University in the United States has proven with his machines on brains that laughter goes into the gamma frequency, the same frequency when we're in deep meditation. So laughter is a form of meditation as well too. It just puts us into that Zen moment. Now, it doesn't happen straight away, Kate, but eventually it does. And once we can get away from the fact that, it's just a bit of fun, to really deep diving. Pauline once again was talking about the deep diving of yoga that used to be done, getting right down to the anatomical level and all of that sort of stuff. The world just opens up, and I'm going, I'll never ever know everything there is about laughter, which is really cool, because every day I wake up and I learn something different.
Wow, and teach us something different. Isn't it beautiful? Really beautiful that someone can write a book, 450 words on breathing, and you've done so much work on laughing. There's nothing expensive about breathing.
It's free.
And there's nothing expensive about doing what Pauline was doing with her fingers the other day either. And there's nothing expensive about laughing. So it's our birthright to be well, and as elders in this healing and wellness arena, then that's our job and our role to try and really help people understand that this is our birthright. We're coming back to ourselves. It's not like we're trying to invent anything new. All the First Nations writings and ideas and talk about the incredible heightened state that people are in the First Nations culture, were in, and that they have lost through all the process of whatever's gone on in the world. Let's not go there. We've all been First Nations, all our ancestors were First Nations too, and we've all lost that. So for me, laughter, breathing, these are peak experiences, and being able to go 100% into our yoga, into our connecting of mind and body and spirit, that is, that's where the wellness starts to come in. We've got some beautiful people here who've joined us today. Has anybody got any pressing questions before we press on? No, they don't, Merv.
No, we've still got 30 minutes, so we're going to see what else he comes out with before we ask questions. Yeah. This is awesome.
I'm okay if you don't have any questions. One of my KPIs is that nobody's left yet, so that's good. When they all leave and they don't have questions, that's when I start to get concern. So thanks for that, body, mind, spirit, because that's where our logo came from. So the 3 ellipses there is the body, mind, spirit. Oh,
which one is which, Merv?
oh, they're just 3. I have no idea. There's 3 of them, and the colors of the chakras as well too. 3 of the chakras, and those little dots is the science. Okay. Very big into the science of laughter, and were invited onto a show. Again, the media has been very, very good to us, very, very appreciative of us, and it was for Catalyst on ABC. And once again, you can go onto ABC iView and catch up on the Catalyst episode that we're on. And it was the science of relationships, and our little segment was the science of laughter. I'm going, wow, it's all working. And what the neurological scientist, Dr. Sarah McKay, wanted to see was how much laughter could reduce stress levels to enhance relationships, because we're at our best from a relationship point of view when we are less stressed. And we got the results back from that. I let you go and watch the episode. It only goes for about 8 minutes or something like that. But we showed that in just 30 minutes of laughter, we could reduce stress levels by up to 65% in 30 minutes. And I just
wow.
said, there's that word again. That's the second time you've said it, Kate. My favorite word is wow, because when people experience a laughter session, I want them to go from weird to wonderful to wow. And we know it's weird. We know it's weird at the start. We accept that it's weird, but just go with us. And then when those chemicals start to kick in, all of a sudden we go, this is really quite wonderful. And then by the time we've finished and we finish a little grounding meditation, they come up and they all just go, wow, we are after that wow. But it's a transition over the period of time. So we reduced stress levels by up to 65%. And I said to Dr. Sarah McKay, I said, how's that? She goes, amazing. Never seen anything like it, to be able to reduce stress that significantly in that shorter period of time just by laughing. Keep up the good work. So we're really, really happy with that.
That is so exciting. And I one of the biggest things that we're doing and do well at SoulAdvisor is run something called SoulAdvisor Foundation. And that is about the science of all the wellness disciplines that we're promoting out there, because it's all very well for those of us that have gone from that weird to wonderful to wow. And I'm just keeping us all in that circle. But what about those that haven't yet gone weird, wonderful, wow, and have got stuck on the weird bit? So we always say at SoulAdvisor that we're building a bridge. We're building a bridge from how it's been, you know, where we've considered our health needs to be at, which has been not at all, it's been even in its preventative modality, as everybody's talking about prevention now, it assumes that we're being attacked and that we're going to get sick. You know, there's a fear basis there. Over to full wellness, over to incredible wellness, over to deep connection to country and culture and community and ourselves. And so that over there, which many people haven't even looked at yet, we need to build that bridge, and we need to help them to walk across that and to understand it. And we can only do that, Merv, with your little putting in the center science, because that's where people's heads are at right now. So with SoulAdvisor Foundation, the whole point is to create the evidence base for all of these therapies and put them in a really beautiful way so that people can actually see and understand and go, aha, and can start to move from that weird to isn't that wonderful thing, and then go out and go, ooh, I want to experience some of that, and then move into the wow. So you've just framed it really beautifully for us. And I also just wanted to talk about birds. Birds. Okay, so birds. There's a lot of birds in this country, and one of them is the kookaburra. And in Wiradjuri country, which is out the western plains of New South Wales, and I'm sure it's true for other countries, but I've only heard story in Wiradjuri, is that we should never, ever imitate a kookaburra. So kids aren't allowed to imitate kookaburras. Now, kookaburras were said to have brought the world into reality at the dawn of the first day, that they moved energy into matter by their laughter. And so Amazing. You know, I love that story, and I love the fact that we're revering them as being the bridge between our spiritual selves and our embodied selves. And so it's really, really gorgeous to have this whole burgeoning of laughter therapy happening out, laughter yoga happening out there, and to have the science behind it, and to have you going on and on and on about it. There's only one more thing, which is this logo, the body, mind, spirit thing.
Yep.
Sorry, I was just thinking, we used to, do you remember that festival, Body, Mind, Spirit?
Yeah.
Which we used to refer to as Body, Mind, Wallet.
Right.
But yeah, so the body, mind, spirit, when we're talking in First Nations terms, my friends often say to me, you shouldn't talk about body, mind, spirit. You should talk about body, country, spirit, because your mind is a bigger mind. It doesn't exist in this little cone of a thing on the top of your head. It's way out there and connected to everything. So we take our thinking from country, because country is alive and thinking and sentient, and so are we, and we're part of that. And so not mind, because mind has the implication that we're separate from everything. All right, I'll shut up now. Is this sparked any questions for any of you?
And in the last bit of our logo, there is the lines, and that is the genomics. So an awful lot of work being done on genomes at the moment, how the genomes change when we become sick. So how do we get them to change to become well? So that's just the headspace that I'm in at the moment. And it's very, very exciting, especially when I'm sitting in a university about to present to people at the university and be at that level. So the 5 things we needed to do to get that vision into play is studies and academic papers. So presently we've done, we just finished our 5th one. So the first one was with business people and the impact that it's had on business people. This was some 10 or 12 years ago, but never before has it become more relevant because of what businesses are going through at the moment and people working at the moment due to COVID. The second one was with people undergoing kidney dialysis. So this was people undergoing a medical procedure in a hospital surrounding. And what happened there, I don't have time to go through the results, but something come right out of left field that had never been proven before, and we got medically published. So I became a medically published author as a result of that research study that we did. The third study that we did was with people in chronic pain, not pain, but chronic pain. And that all had surgery or were on medication that just wasn't working. And once again, the results that we got from that were just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. The 4th study that we did was with the research study with catalysts, reducing stress levels. And then the one that we've just finished, which we haven't pulled together at the moment, was the Laughy. So we've just finished this at the end of November, and we got 8 people laughing every day using the Laughy. Just 1 minute of laughter per day to actually see the impact. So they're the 5 research studies that we've done at the moment. We did that in conjunction with Bolton University, Professor Jerome Carson, and a health psychologist, Frida Ganot-Szapinski out of Monaco. So one of the good things that happened out of COVID, and there were lots of good things when we were locked away, was all of a sudden we got online. And all of a sudden I got all these international connections and people finding me that never would have found me before. And when I was contacted by Bolton University and these 2 amazing people, they said, can we write academic papers with you? I'm going, yes, where have you been all my life? Thank you for coming into my life. And they said, we'll do all the academic stuff. You just do the laughing stuff. And I'm going, wow, what a marriage made in heaven that is, you know. So I see SoulAdvisor here in Australia, there's the same way. There's just relationships that are just really, really good for you at all levels. So we've been really, really focusing on writing these academic papers. And the last study that we've done with the Laughy is being written up as we speak. Then the challenge is to get them published. Then they said to me just the other day, and this is hot off the press, they said, we should write a book. We should write an academic and a self-help book. I'm going, yes, we should. I'm going, what's happening to my universe? And it's just all coming together. People now from around the world are saying, how can we help you? How can we help you? And it's just so wonderful. So we saw that as important. The second thing to achieve that vision is to redo our training. Our training has not been where we want it to be. It's always been a bit, oh, we'll just do this and you'll be okay. No, we need to go to a deeper level and understanding of training to get the people more confident and to improve the quality, not just the quantity of the people that are out there. And so that's been a focus. Another focus that we've had is on money. Now, don't switch off just yet. Keep with me for a little while, because people would often say, I would love to be involved, but you know, I've still got to eat and I've got to turn the power on. I've got to drive my car. So Dr. Kataria, back when he recreated laughter yoga, said it's got to be free to everybody. And everybody started doing free laughter clubs around the world. And then COVID come along and absolutely smashed them all. So we went online. We have free daily laughter sessions online to support the community. But then the people who had laughter clubs said, I'd like to start it again, but I've got to live as well. And we've got increasing costs and that sort of stuff. So what if you could be fairly remunerated? And Pauline talked about this the other day with the yoga teachers as an example. You know, could we be fairly remunerated? And the philosophy of Ikigai, the Japanese philosophy there, you know, do you love what you're doing? Are you good at it? Is it needed by the world? And are you being fairly remunerated for it? So I just love that philosophy and saying it's okay to make some money along the way. And then with that money, if you want to put it back into research or writing a book or something like that that can help other people, or create a retreat in Cambodia where people can come, this is good use of money as an energy. So we've got that focus. Social prescription, it was going big in the UK and just being introduced to Australia before COVID come along. If you're not aware of what it is, it's where a health professional writes out 100 scripts, and maybe 10 of those scripts is not for pharmaceutical medication or surgery. It's something else. Maybe we'll send them along to a yoga studio. Maybe we'll tell them to go and do a laughter session. Maybe you should join a walking group or you know, a book club, all this sort of stuff that is not mainstream. So we want to be positioned really, really well for social prescription. And the last thing is to create a community. And this is about more high quality people into our community. So hopefully you can see all five are absolutely linked, but we've just got to have more people out there. So the more the demand increases, the less we can actually supply them with laughter sessions. We say, well, go online, but you know, there's just not the amount of laughter clubs that used to be out there. So we need to grow that quite significantly. One of the other things that Kate says, you know, what do you love about what you do? Well, everything. And it's a passion. It's not an obsession yet, but it's just a passion. And that hopefully that comes through in all the presentations that I do. I'm just so passionate about everything that has to offer for me and our broader laughter community, and then the spiritual community and SoulAdvisor, and then out towards the Australian community. How's it changed? I've explained that it's changed significantly. When we do trainings now, we'll have yoga teachers come along. We'll have nurses. My friend Sharon there is a retired career nurse, came along. We'll have psychologists. We'll have hypnotherapists. We've got all these people coming along who want to incorporate laughter into their practice. So you can do it as a standalone, or you can incorporate it into your existing practice that you're doing. So that's really quite exciting when you talk about the people, or talk to the people and find out who they are, their background, and what they want to do. It's absolutely collaborating in what I see that we want to do. And how have I shared it? It was the other question that Kate sent. Well, good old COVID. I was sharing it all throughout Australia and jumping on and off planes. All of a sudden COVID come along and I was in my box, but all of a sudden my box was with people from all around the world. I'm going, wow, I now have an international audience to be able to share this with. And one of the things that was always said, and I think we've dispelled this myth throughout the last 6 sessions, oh, you can't do it online. Well, yeah, you can. Actually, we've heard from elders in the energy healing space and the yoga space. It can be done online. It's not a competition. It's not better or worse. It's just different. It's just different, but it enables us to reach an audience who can't get to a laughter club or maybe confined to their home or in remote outback Australia or something like that. We can actually bring it to them. And the last one was the collaboration with SoulAdvisor, the collaboration now that we have with Bolton University, the collaboration that I have with Monash Health, where we've done our research studies. It's all about these collaborations, is how we're sharing it at the moment. And of course, good old social media, It's out there. When used well, it's fantastic. When used not so well, it's not so good. So SoulAdvisor, first thing they do, write it up, put it onto social media. So it's a way of getting our message out there to the world about what we're doing. So in essence, Kate, I've covered off those questions for you.
And you've done it all with 8 minutes to spare.
I know, because I wanted to leave some time for questions, and I want to do a laughy. Is that okay?
Oh, absolutely. You know, like when you're talking, and you've got such a beautiful collaborative way of talking, you know, I think it's because at your very essence, laughter is infectious. And so, you know, you're used to that collaborating thing of bringing everybody into the story. And do you know that beautiful song by Ben Lee, We're All in This Together? Woke up this morning. Yeah, it's a gorgeous song. So we are all in this together, you know, and we're all going to, it's one big cosmic joke. I can't remember whose particular eldership interview it was, but I remember zooming into that beautiful laughing Buddha that I've been given, and it is a cosmic joke. So over to you to do a laughy if everybody's up for it.
Cool. Does anyone have any questions before we do?
Whereabouts are you based, Merv?
Oh, in your screen. I'm based in and around Melbourne and Victoria.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And just moved to a location in the ranges, the Dandenong Ranges. So when you started to talk about the kookaburras, Kate, I can absolutely resonate, because the kookaburras own the space around my tree house, and I get woken up every morning by the kookaburras. Now, the only problem is the 4:20 train, the first train that goes out to Belgrave, comes through at 4:20, and the kookaburras think it's the sun coming up. So at 4:20, I'm at the back of my house saying, shut up, it's a train. Be quiet. So,
Respect, Merv, respect.
I know. It's their territory, and I've moved into it, and it's been a wonderful place. So, Tanya, I'm in and around Melbourne and the surrounds. Not so much on planes anymore, but I do travel if the client wishes me to go to another state. Second guessing international travel at this stage. I think I've done a lot of that, and it was exciting at the time, but I think I'm over it. But guess what? I can just jump online and
except for Cambodia.
I have that. I'm attending the session. Is it 5 o'clock? Let's do a plug. When is it, Kate? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow at 5 p.m. It would be wonderful to have you all join us again for a different context entirely, which is to chat about Angkor Grace, which will be like the temple. Temple keeps coming to my word. It's not at all like a temple, although there are 1,000 temples in this tiny town of Angkor Wat, which is amazing. You know, in Siem Reap, there's 1,000 temples. Anyway, but it is like a pinnacle where traditional and complementary therapists and people who are looking for traditional and complementary therapists will come and go on their own journey of healing. It's the biggest healing wellness center in Southeast Asia, and it's done with such amazing intention, fully inspired by the First Nations here. There's a bridge to that establishment over there, and it's been established by the founder of SoulAdvisor. So yes, we hope that you'll all join us at 5 p.m. on tomorrow to have a really good chat on about what would we like to see happen, and how does it all work, and where could we participate. So please, open invite.
So can you send us a link, Kate?
I think
it's. Are you on our platform?
Pauline,
I've just there's posts on there. There's an event on there in our events.
Oh, okay.
That I've invited everybody. There will be another one going out today. There'll be another one tomorrow.
And also, just for
Tanya, you know that I'm a special needs.
I will send you the link.
Tanya,
Yep.
am I mistaken, or is it on this particular? It's on the same link as this, isn't
I
it?
think it's on the same thing as this,
Yeah, it's
unless
on the
you gave
same
me a
link.
different. It's on the same link.
So just come back here.
Yeah. Merv, I have got a book in that one of those bookshelves behind me,
Yeah.
and it's called Breath is Your Life, and it's written in 1934.
Yeah.
It's magnificent. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep.
Mm.
There's nothing new about this stuff, Pauline.
No,
We just bring it
no.
back to the consciousness of people, how important the breathing is.
That's right. And I'll just quickly share a story with you, but
Please.
you saying that people expect you to be sick. I ate a piece of apple the other day, and I got it caught in my throat, and I've had a really sore throat. So consequently, I've had COVID. I've had probably a meckle in my throat. I've had all this advice of what it is, except the fact that I have scratched my throat by eating a piece of apple. But you have to be sick if there's something going wrong. You know, they can't accept the fact that there's nothing wrong. And it's by, the breathing and those types of things and the cleansing, the prayers that has stopped me from losing my voice or my mind with all this advice that I've been given on you're really sick, type stuff. And it is ridiculous that we all have to be really sick to fit into society. And if you don't have something really sick about you, you feel a little bit odd, yeah. So,
Off the track, Pauline, you're off the track.
I know.
Jump on.
Always have been, Kate.
I'd like everyone to grab their mobile phone, please.
Sure.
And this is for the people listening at home as well. So I'm actually going to show you how the Laughy works. So you open up your mobile phone and you go to the camera and you put the camera onto video and you turn it on to yourself. All right. So you know how a selfie, you take a picture of yourself. A Laughy is where you take a video of yourself laughing for 1 minute. 10, you don't raise the head. Wait for the rest of it. This is serious. This is serious.
Yeah. I've studied at the laughter yoga teacher, and you have just inspired me. No end.
There you go.
Lisa, I'm holding it up.
So
Laughter, seriously?
video onto you. This is not videoing the people on the screen. This is your video.
Yeah.
And we're just going to laugh for 1 minute. When you hit the video button, now go. You have now experienced a Laughy.
That is so cool.
It's very cool. I'm so excited about the Laughy. Now, the Laughy works in conjunction with laughter yoga, not instead of. So laughter yoga is a whole 45-minute session, experience transformational, and this is just a little top up as we go along. So that was the last research study that we did. And once again, it's focusing on bringing into the NHS, the National Health System, as a socially prescribed exercise modality for people mainly with mental health issues. That's just where we're at the moment. I am so excited about where I'm at the moment and the possibilities. And Kate, you've given me the opportunity to share this with others. So I thank you so sincerely. I'm going to hand it back to you for the big finish.
Thank you so much, Merv. It's been really, really enlightening. I love that word, enlightening. It's very lightening, as is
Right, yeah,
your.
on my head.
I'm pretty sure that's coming from inside, Merv. Anyway, thank you so much. It's been really, really beautiful to have you here, and we'll get this out far and wide. You know, we may get brave, Tanya and Amy and I, and share our own little laughies out there.
I am. Mine's going up now.
Good. And any of you who feel the urge to send it over to cate@souladvisor.com, please, then I can just put us all together and we can do a big post about how we all laughed. So there's a challenge.
Cool. I'll email that to you. You don't want me to put it up on the page?
No, I think we should. I think we should put all of us in the comments as laughing on.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll do that.
Doing that.
If you go,
Thanks, Merv. You were hilarious. Loved it. Loved all of it. Thank you.
if you go onto Facebook, we have the Laughy Challenge, and that is challenging everybody to do that exercise once per day and then send it on to somebody else. So it's the ripple effect about getting the laughter out there. So
well, we'll put that there too.
Do that.
Encourage everyone to join. And so thank you very much for being part of this series. And we're creating, as we are with wellness, a big picture of what eldership looks like as part of that wellness journey. And so every time we come together, it seems to get a little bit clearer in my head. And I think, Merv, you said it was getting a little clearer in your head. It's got to be a conversation. There's no right or wrong, and there's no end point in this. So let's just keep going. We really look forward to having you over in Cambodia, Merv. Thanks for accepting. And and we also really look forward till tomorrow's session, and where we're going to have Helen Callanan come along and talk about end-of-life doulaing. I was thinking a lot, Merv, when you were saying about trying to make a professional way forward in terms of training with laughter yoga. Well, Helen has actually brought about the first certificate for an end-of-life doulaing in the planet. So, you know, yay, Helen. And I'm hoping that you'll bring about the first cert for in laughter yoga. There's a challenge for this year for you coming up. And until we meet again, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. And you'll see the recording of this over on the SoulAdvisor YouTube channel in a couple of days. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye all.